past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful laws and past. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off, we had quite a lot of things to unpack. After a press conference has been held, 1 year later after Cell's defeat, Midoriya revealed that he was a Saiyan. He was not born Saiyan, but he is one, explaining that he was raised on Earth. Now, along with that, Midoriya also did reveal that he is going to be marrying Mina Ashito and Momo of the Saiyans. Now, Midoriya will be marrying these two as proof of an alliance between the planets. And this is just between these three main ones. The original negotiations was only between Midoriya's planet, Sadala, and Mina's possible planet. They were quite hesitant, but Mina did try explaining that they should actually reach out. Now, with that being said, the Earth Defense Force is only using this as somewhat of a front. Yes, they do want to achieve peace, but they were not going to reach out, nor were they going to talk with the Saiyans. Midoriya having to reveal that he already does have a kid with the princess. Now, Midoriya does already reveal that. Then, he did reveal that he also did have a relationship with Mina Ashito of the mysterious planets. And, quite a lot of complicated matters later, the arrangement was made. Now, we do have a week later, with Izuku Midoriya standing there, in a tuxedo, as the world is watching what is happening. We have Izuku Midoriya, the groomsman, and the princess, Momo. Now, Saiyans, they're quite unfamiliar with everything happening. Their, warrior culture doesn't really have marriage, so this is all quite new to them. Now, the ceremony is held, and you do actually see quite a lot of Momo's family, along with quite a lot of them actually crowding around and seeing the grandchild. Now, they are quite intrigued, since, they've already spawned an heir. Somebody who will take over the throne after Midoriya and Momo have passed. So it is quite interesting. Now, the ceremony is held, and then there is the feast. Now, Midoriya actually does enjoy quite a lot of things that do happen today. However, directly after this is all said and done, we currently do have, Mina's father, who actually does pull Midoriya aside. Yes, sir? Him basically being dragged outside by his tie. Listen to me, young man. I do not know exactly who you are. And even if you are his voice beginning to get shaky, God of Destruction, beginning to inform him that if he does anything to break his daughter's heart or to harm her, then he will come after him. Now, Midoriya reassures the man. He's not going to do anything bad. In fact, he actually does like Mina, and she likes him back. Explain that it's all a funny story as to how this all happened. Now, with that, her father does actually say a few words, before these two both disappear. Now, with that being said, Midoriya does actually find himself back on the mysterious planet, looking around, confused. What the? Where are we? We were just on Earth. Hmm. Ah, that was my own magic. Magic? Yes. Now, please be aware. Your human culture, or customs, are vastly similar to our own. In fact, my daughter did actually inform me of some things that do hold similarities. And it's quite interesting. Parts of our culture have been turned on your planet into games. Games? What are you talking about? Well, it's quite simple. You do understand our planet. You do not have access to your ki, or your powers, meaning that you are just as mortal as I, if not just a little bit stronger physically. Now, he does go on explanation. Midoriya, he is going to have to set out on a specialized mission, or deed. In order for a man to prove that he is to marry somebody, he has to venture out, go to a cave, and find out what lies within. Every person's journey is different, and no one has shared similar experiences. So, he must go there and find what he is looking for. Now, Midoriya does somewhat understand this, finding it to be quite interesting, as he does go out to leave, finding out which direction he needs to head in, as he actually does take off into a sprint, quickly taking off his jacket and loosening his tie, as he goes running. Now, with that, Mina's father, the king, and the prince do both stand there, watching. Mina walking up and asking if Midoriya is already here. Yes, Mina. He's already ventured out. Really? But wait, he was supposed to get the hints. Hmm. No, he was not. What do you mean? If he is to really marry you, then he must go through the trials without them. That is the only way I will deem him, well, the person who shall be your husband. But, father, you're going against traditions. No, I am not. What? True, this is breaking traditions. However, we are also breaking traditions by having an outsider. In fact, your grandfather once did this. He broke traditions to test me. What? Yes, this is true. And then we would break traditions for your brother. And you. Only the, well, people not within our royal class have to follow them. Just like how we have exceptions to certain types of abilities within our own clan. Hmm. Yeah, okay. I think I get it. But still. You could have at least told him that he was supposed to find something. Hmm. If he actually does come back with it, then I will believe that he actually didn't make it. Now, we do actually have Midoriya, who is running through the forest. Him stepping in quite a lot of things. Now, he can already tell that this place was cursed with magic to test him. Him stepping into quicksand as he loses his shoe. And he just keeps running, before almost being attacked by a giant snake. Midoriya actually going to fight against it, before being able to grab it and physically swing it over him, smashing it into a tree as it begins to wrap around that. And Midoriya, he just lets go of it. Now, With that being said, Midoriya basically does have to fight his way to the cave. Simply not being able to use ki is hard enough. The fact that he's unable to, or even power up, is quite hard. Now, Midoriya does eventually get to the cave, a bit scuffed up, bruised, and dirty. Now, he does actually walk in, feeling a mysterious presence. Now, with that being said, this is quite interesting. Him walking in and seeing that it's a normal cave. What's going on? This is weird. Now, Midoriya actually does see what looks to be a, well, tub of water, you can call it. It's a giant pond that does lead down. Midoriya thinks that he might have to go that way. However, he does hold off on that, trying to look around and inspect the cave more. Not finding anything. So he does actually take off his shirt before stepping into the water. Now, he does find this to be quite interesting. It going up to his waist before he does actually walk in further. And it goes up to his shoulders. Is something supposed to happen here? Now, Midoriya actually does go to turn around. However, as soon as his body does actually move, he's frozen. Before he's quickly pulled underneath. Midoriya trying to fight and claw his way back to the top. As he's pulled down. Now, Midoriya can feel this, thinking for a second that he was set up. As he continues to try and fight and struggle for his own breath. Before he does actually feel himself fly upwards. And he actually is in waist-high water, sinking in deep breaths as he's heavily ventilating. Looking around, finding that there's nobody here. There's nothing here. He's not even in the cave anymore. Him actually bringing his hands down back into the water, them stopping on the surface. Midoriya feeling this as he does actually put weight down on his hands. And he does actually feel his body come back up. Now, Midoriya is quite surprised, as he does actually get out of the water. Him being still quite confused about all this. What the hell is going on? Now, mist begins to surround the area, and it does seem like the plains, or the open vast emptiness, does begin to change. It beginning to turn into a forest that you would find on Earth. Before, Midoriya does begin to hear sounds. Now, the sky quickly turns pitch black, and Midoriya is still watching, very confused about all of this, bringing his hands up to fight. Before, he actually just feels something punch him in the back, him flying forwards and into the dirt, going to stand back up and spin around to attack. Now, he is actually greeted by somebody who he has not seen in a year. Midoriya's eyes widening as he actually does go to drop onto his knees, as he does see his father standing there. And someone actually does come up behind Midoriya and tap him on the shoulder, instructing him that he needs to get back up. What the? Mom? But you're alive. Now, Midoriya does actually step forwards and go to pull his mom into a hug. Her moving past him and turning into mist. This confusing Midoriya, bringing his hands up. Turning back around once again, and seeing both these two. What the? How is this possible? How are you here? So it appears these forms are of somebody who is long past. I see. Long past? What are you talking about? I see now. You are an outsider. You do not understand these traditions. Yeah, I don't. But why are you, who are you? Hmm, I am well, I believe you can call me spirit. My soul would not go to the other world. So, I attached myself here. I was originally the daughter of the man who stayed behind. And I do actually try and help use my presence here to keep people together. Now, I try not to intervene as much as possible, but I believe that you can call me a god of nature. It is my very power that does allow this plant to stay hidden, along with magic from some external sources. But basically, that is what I do. That is my task. Okay, so exactly what am I supposed to do here? Hmm, so you are an outsider. Were you not told of things? Told? No, I was just told to come out here and find something. Huh. Hmm. So, that is who you are going for. What? The princess. Breaking tradition is royalty. Yay. I have dealt with them once before. And this is not anything new. Mainly it is whenever people follow traditions that I am surprised. Okay, but is this like. This is strange. In all my life, I've never experienced anything like this. Even the time chamber was different. The time. What? It's a room where like 1 year can be a day. Hmm, interesting. Ah, now I am going to perform a test. In fact, I have already been performing it. And there are certain things I am seeing about you. You hold great power. You hold enormous potential. And your species, the Saiyans, they've even forgot about some power before. What? Now, this is whenever Hasashi does actually step forwards. Midoriya is seeing a tail pop out from behind his back. As Midoriya does actually see his father buff up for a second, or at least get marginally a bit bigger. His eyes turning yellow as he does power up, going into a form. Now, Midoriya is taken aback by that. That power, that pressure, it's intense. And then there is what Inko does begin to say. Midoriya, his test, does actually seem significant. And it seems like he does get a pass. However, you must know, you need to find it. Now, Midoriya does actually watch his mother. Her actually powering up herself. Midoriya watching her hair get a lot longer. Before he's sent flying away. Now, he crash lands back in the forest. Quite confused. His clothing wet. And Midoriya does actually begin to look around. Now, Midoriya tries to use Ki, and use his own power. However, that does not seem to be working. And Midoriya, he just starts walking. he doesn't know where he's supposed to go. Until he does actually come across a sword in a stone. Now, he does walk forwards. And he does actually see it, as it does have a statement. What deems you to be worthy of her hand? And Midoriya doesn't know what to say. Him going to pull the sword out. As soon as he actually does begin to pull, he cannot get it out, bringing his leg up and trying to pull more. Before, simply just watching the words shift around. What makes you think that you can pull it? What makes you worthy of her? Midoriya, he's kind of confused. What? Of her? Do you mean Mina? Now, the words shift around more. The princess. Well, I mean, I wouldn't really call myself worthy. The words shifting around to an insult. Now, Midoriya does actually stare at that for a second, before stating that if they must know, Mina does actually have feelings for him. Now, the words do shift around, complimenting Midoriya on his answer. Now, Midoriya, he actually does find that the sword did begin to budge a little bit. Before, he actually has grabbed a firm hold on it, and begin to pull. Now, as Midoriya does actually do this, he tries to power up. And you do actually notice that his hair does turn slightly golden. Midoriya is still pulling. Now, the god, or the spirit, that still doesn't have this area, just watches Midoriya, as he pulls for what could be considered days, if not, possibly, even weeks. Now, Midoriya does not give up, and he still keeps going. Now, Midoriya then actually does try something different. He goes to lift up the stone the sword is put in, and this actually does somewhat work. Now, as soon as that does happen, Midoriya simply just begins to lift it over his head, before slamming it down on another rock. Now, Midoriya has tried multiple methods to get the sword out, and he is eventually once again encountered by the god, who actually has asked Midoriya why he will not give up. And him simply just beginning to state that him and Mina, they do actually have feelings for each other. And if he's going to give up, he will die long before that. Now, with that being said, Midoriya is quite surprised. The spirit congratulating him as a sword, Midoriya is able to pull it from the stone gradually. And they actually do inform Midoriya that they have given him his piece, the item that he was supposed to come and find. Along with that, they shared information that has been long since forgotten. That's surprising Midoriya. The spirit pushing Midoriya backwards as he goes falling. Now, as soon as Midoriya does hit the ground, he actually does find that he's in a lake, before swimming back up to the top. Now, with that being said, Midoriya actually does get out, confused and finding that his shirt is back on him, and that he does at least still carry this ceremonial blade. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he then does begin to at least head back in the direction of the palace, arriving and surprising Mina's father. Midoriya has been gone for a full day, And the fact that he has now just arrived? Well, he thought that Midoriya failed his task, being surprised to see the young boy. Now, Midoriya also does have some information put into his head. Now, this information would help him in the future. However, he does want to try looking into it a bit more and learn about it. Now, with that, Midoriya is taken back to the palace and basically informed that he does need to go through another process. Now, he does have to get ceremonial tattoos. That would basically show that he has gone through their tradition. Now, he does do that, and it does take some time. Now, as for the tattoos he would get, I am going to have to look into them after this, and they will be in the next parts. But, long story short, Midoriya, after going through all of their traditions, a proper marriage is held. And Midoriya and Mina do actually head back to Earth, along with Mina's father actually calming back down. He was freaking out and nervous the entire time all this was happening. Not sure whether or not Midoriya would pass or fail. If Midoriya failed, what would that mean? That's bad. He might destroy their planet and take his daughter. However, if he does pass, that's slightly, well, better. It means that the peace treaty does at least stay in, well, rule, you could say. However, he still is, well, what's the best way to say it? He doesn't really see Midoriya as a proper man, thinking that he may have been handed everything in life. He does have great power, but has he actually trained to use it? Now then, with all that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I will catch you guys in the next part.